Hello folks, hope things are going well for you as we move into the weekend and we all have a well-deserved break, but if you are working this weekend, thank you very much for helping the world go round. I have received a communique, a suggestion from one of our lovely community members who has asked me, hey, why don't you put the pictures that we send you on Hobby Nightmares anymore? Well, there's a good reason for that. That is because this isn't the place for a hobby model showcase. That is Sunday. So what I will do for you is if you send me a picture with your Hobby Nightmare that is reticent, that is, applicable to your Hobby Nightmare to explain what's going on, even if it's models, I will put it up on the screen here, no problem. But if you just send me models with your Hobby Nightmare on the off chance that I might put them up, that will be on a Sunday. How does that sound? A nice middle ground there. So we're not putting all of our things on a Sunday, but we are putting the ones that are just for a showcase on Sunday. Right? Cool. Speaking of Sunday, the prize draw is this weekend for a lovely Repulsor battle tank. We've already given one away. We are giving our next one away this Sunday. So if you want to be involved in that, you need to be a member on the Patreon, or you need to be a member of the channel. Either way, you're making me more financially stable, you're making the channel more financially stable, and you're doing me huge solid. So it's an honour of mine to be able to give you a few models every now and again. And when I can't, I will give you some boxes of Yorkshire tea signed by yours truly. And I will be signing the Repulsor as well when I send that to you, whoever wins. So if you want a chance of winning, either become a member of the channel or a member of the Patreon. The links to do so are down below. Right, jumping into our first Hobby Nightmare of the day, and it is a long one, but it is Feels Friday, so we're allowed to do long ones today. Dante, it is, who says, hello Northern Exile. Dante again. I sent in a story recently about a tournament I went to with my Grey Knights, Man of Culture, and you really liked it, so I thought I'd send in a few more. There is one quite surreal story, but I'm not quite sure if I want to send that yet. Anyway, story number 1. When I started playing 40k again after a 10-year hiatus, I found a cool hobby store near my home. It was a chill place with mostly normal people. Often my opponents were husbands, dads, or regular Joes that I would befriend. One day I walked past the shop with my wife Rebecca, and she said she wanted to look inside. I asked, really? And she said, you spend hours there a few times a week. I want to see where my husband goes. She's scoping it out for other women. She's not. She's just showing an interest. I'm kidding. We go in there and there are a few people around. There is a 40k game going on by the closest table. We are looking at the miniatures display and I'm explaining why I don't collect the pretty wood elf models when I notice one of the players. He is a tall gentleman, broad in the shoulders and chunky. He is wearing a shirt, cargo shorts and Crocs. He was leaning over the table when suddenly he stood up straight, face pointing to the ceiling, and he has taken a pose like Goku powering up on Dragon Ball Z. You know, elbows by his sides, fists up and his legs braced. I look at the table and that's when I see it. He is playing orcs. I knew what was about to happen before it happened. A large screaming "Wah!" was exclaimed across the store. My poor wife jumped and clutched my arm whilst this fellow bellowed to the roof. When he was done, Rebecca looked up at me in astonishment and confusion. I couldn't think of a quick and easy way of explaining what greenskins were, what the "Wah" is, and why some players yell it, so all I said was, Glenn has Tourette syndrome. You put it as a turret, right? You've written the word turret. Glenn has Tourette syndrome. She nodded and we left. Later on I did explain what the yelling was about, and all she said was, well, it will keep other women away, I suppose. Meaning there wouldn't be other girls there to hit on me. I told you she was going there for that. I told you. They can't get away with anything with me. I know your stuff, right? Listen, lads, if you want me to do like the woman whisperer, just talk to me, right? Give me weird behaviours that your girl does, and I'll tell you why she's doing them, right? That just her going, oh, I want to see where my husband hangs out. Yeah, right. She's sniffing it out. She's like, why is he in, why is this guy in here all the time? Why is he in there all the time? It can't be that interesting. So she goes in, and now she knows she's just a nerd. It's just really funny. Story number 2. This is a recount of when I met an unusual chap playing 40k. Last year I messaged on the store Facebook chat asking for a game as I usually do. A fellow we can call Liam said he would play me and bring his Tyranids. We arranged a time and a date. I got there a bit early and set up the board. It was towards the back of the store. As I am putting on the finishing touches, I see a guy walking my way. Long track pants, hoodie thongs, flip-flops, you British call them, I guess. Yeah. Thong... Okay. Flip-flops are not thongs. A thong is something you put, you know, down there and goes up your crack, right? Flip-flops are, you know, sandals, essentially. I don't like sandals. I think they look just garish and horrible. It just rubs me the wrong way. I don't like them. It's not my thing. Ugh. It's like Crocs. Oh, God. The holes in Crocs are where your dignity flows out. And a large cardboard box. So we had long track pants, hoodie, flip-flops, and a large cardboard box. He had long, scraggly hair, a bunch of sore-looking acne, and he was quite chunky. I was thinking, please don't be Liam. I know we should not judge, but if I'm about to spend the next few hours with a person, I don't want it to be mentally a painful experience. Dante, the chap said. Yeah, Liam, I replied. Yeah. He had this big grin on his face, like he was stoked to be playing Warhammer. It softened my disposition to him greatly. Good lad, good lad. You know what? I was about to, like, give you shade there for judging somebody so quickly, but good lad, yeah. If he's, like, really enthusiastic and like, oh, brilliant, I can't wait to play, you're like, you know what? Screw that. Shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Nice to meet you, mate, you know? That's good stuff. He was in his early 20s, but I had the instant impression he was just a big kid. As he got close, his smell was intense. Pure, unwashed body odour. Hardcore sits in your nostrils strength. Nice to meet you, mate, I said, offering my hand. Liam looked at it like he was not sure what to do with it, then softly took it in his clammy, long-nailed hand and gently shook it. His hand was acne-covered. He had some sort of skin problem, probably, and this took away some of my warmth towards him, I must admit. I noticed he had a big chunk missing from one of his ears. What? He got his models out and they were all unpainted, which doesn't bother me at all. Liam was so excited to play, I don't think he got many games. I wonder why. We started playing, and he indeed had not played much. I was half teaching him and explaining what the rules actually did as we went. Everything he read seemed to inflate what his abilities really were, but that was okay. He did not have a rule book and had to constantly look up his army on Wahapedia. But his phone started dying, and he said he needed it to get home, so we used my phone to look up his rules. His touching my phone also made me feel a bit uncomfortable. You don't need OCD to want your stuff to be kept clean from other people's germs. Yeah, no, mate, me and you, Dante, me and you, mate, we're very similar. We are very similar. I'm telling you now, I'm very much like that. If somebody has, like, a packet of crisps, right, chips in America, right, if somebody has a packet of crisps, and they're eating them, and they say, oh, pass me your phone, I literally look at them and go, no. No. Go and wash your hands, and come back, and then maybe you can have my phone to show me something. Don't put your grubby, greasy hands on my phone. Or on me, actually. You know what I mean? Like, and I tell you, there's nothing worse than if you go on a date, right? I've had this once before, where you take a girl out and she's eating fries, and then she, like, starts touching you and shit. She's eating fries with her hands. I don't mean down there, I mean, like, just in general. Like, no. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, just being affectionate. No. Go and wash your hands. What is wrong with you? Am I weird? Like, I'm just really averse to that. It really does my head in. I'm like, no, just go and wash your hands, you dirty mare. Off you go. Do you know what I mean? I'm not having that. All the time. Or if they go to touch their hair, I've done this. I've ruined a date doing this. Like when they've been eating like greasy food with their fingers. Because so have I. I go and wash my hands and come back. I see her trying to touch her hair with those hands. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. What are you doing? Right? What are you doing? You've got grease all over your hands. That's gonna go in your. Whoa. That's gonna go. Whoa, that's gonna go in your hair. Right? Don't do that. Go and wash your hands. You dirty sod. And come back, then dry your hands, and then fix your hair. Or fix your hair whilst you're in there washing your hands. I don't know, just don't... Ugh. I don't know. I've always thought I'm really weird, because other people don't seem bothered by it at all. They're just like, yeah, you know. But I just get really offended by it. I'm just like, oh, I don't even eat... Here's how bad I am. I don't eat crisps or chips in public. I know. If I'm eating crisps next to you, like a packet of crisps, or chips in America, then I must really like you and be easy. It's like having a cat who, like, you know, if he falls asleep next to you, he trusts you. If I'm eating those things next to you, then I trust you not to touch me until I've washed my hands afterwards. I know, it's crazy. I'm insane, man. The game was a little tedious because he kept trying to make his rules better than they actually were, or he was getting them mixed up. So we spent a lot of time on my phone reading. Liam was not somebody you can have a normal adult conversation with. I'm no mental health professional, but through my work I come across people with some mental problems nearly every shift, and I don't think Liam had a condition. He didn't come across that way. It just seemed like his mind never grew from being an awkward, slow kid. I tried talking about various things, but he only wanted to talk about 40k stuff. No problem. The game finished, and I said I had a good time, and I hope he did too. Yeah, even though you burnt all my bugs, I like bugs, he said. Huh, cool. Is that why you collect Tyranids? I said. Yeah, I really like beetles the best. I want to paint my Tyranids based on the colourings of real beetles, Liam replied. This guy's nice. He's odd, but he's nice. I think that's a great idea. When you do, can you send me some photos? I like the Tyranids too, because they remind me of the Alien movies. I said, trying to get a normal conversation going. No, I just like beetles, he said. He's just not, no, we're not going there. I like beetles. I packed up as quickly as I could. Liam's BO was wearing down my polite endurance, and I wanted to get home and to clean my phone, dice and tape measure. Liam didn't have a tape measure, and had only about 12 dice, so I let him borrow mine, and Tyranids use a lot of dice. Alright, well, get home safe, Liam, thanks for the game, I said, heading for the door. Yeah, you want to play again? He asked. Maybe another day, sure, and you can try a different list out like we talked about, I assured him. Yeah? When? Said Liam, deadpan. I'm not sure, mate. Where did you park? Maybe we can walk back together, I offered. I don't have a license. I took the bus. Ah, long trip back, I asked. Nah, only 90 minutes. Oh, okay. Get home safe then, I said, and I left. 90 minutes is a long way to go on the bus for a game of 40k. Just saying. On the way home, I thought about this chap Liam. The awkwardness and difficult conversation did not bother me that much, but the poor hygiene certainly did. I know just how hard it can be for men in our modern society, especially men on the bottom rungs of social standing. I decided I would keep speaking with Liam and see if I can help him a little bit. He seemed so lonely and forlorn. I knew if he was a girl in the same situation he would have a multitude of people offering to help him, but since he is a guy, he probably has no one. I messaged him about his Tyranids and some tactics he could use to start a conversation, and I met him a few more times for games. I didn't really enjoy the games, but he did, so it was worthwhile. Over a few months I learned a few things from him. He worked casually at some construction place, but lost his job, and so was back on social welfare payments. He had a terrarium, enclosure for pet spiders, for the readers who don't know, and he lived alone. He was not close with his parents. He had one brother who kind of hates him. He spends all of his money on models. He never goes out unless it's to shop or go to a hobby store. I would try and turn the conversation to something about life. He would say he gets bored since he doesn't have a job, and would say, if you've got all this free time, you should try exercising. Oh no, I would say, sorry, I've done the wrong voice there. Dear me. He would say he gets bored since he doesn't have a job, and I would say, if you've got all this free time, you should try exercising. You'll get healthier, feel better, and have done something productive for the day. Liam would reply, can't afford a gym membership. I'd say, you don't need to go to a gym, dude. Just start with running, push-ups, sit-ups, and squats, and build it up from there. Just a little bit every day, and build from that. You'll feel really good, man, and it's completely free. Nah, maybe I'll go for a walk around the block tomorrow. Did you know Highfleet Leviathan is the biggest threat to the Imperium? Or, I'd ask him what he's having for dinner. 2-minute noodles is what I always have. You don't like cooking? I asked. It's just cheap and it's all I can afford, really. Liam would explain. I try to save money with food too, but there are cheaper and tastier options than 2-minute noodles. If you get tuna, pasta, and a creamy sauce, you can make a heap of tuna bake super cheap, and it'll be healthier for you than noodles. I have a lot of cheap and easy meals like that if you're interested. Nah, it's okay. I read Highfleet Cronus hunts demons. That means they can kill the Chaos Gods, right? Stuff like that. Every time. Wow, this guy just seems like... I don't even know... Okay. I would say this guy does not want to be helped, but you know what? He seems just okay being what he is. Do you know what I mean? That's how he comes across to me. Yeah, he's lonely. But maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe you need to break it down and say, listen, man, I can tell you're lonely, and if you want to fix that, here's how you do it. Right? All the things I've been telling you to do, that's what you do. You eat more healthily, you get exercise. Those are the two things you start to do. You take pride in your own appearance, and start to, you know, make sure that you're smelling nice and you're looking good. Anyway. On one occasion, Liam told me he is saving up his money to buy some Tyranid Forge World thing, the Bio-Titan or something. It's normally expensive, but in Australia, it's pretty much like buying a second-hand car. Oh shit, he's in Australia! Oh my god, dude, this dude's oh my god, Liam's surrounded, like... He's surrounded by, like, really tall, muscular, good-looking men. No wonder he's fucking annoyed. And the women aren't that much worse either. I said to Liam, Liam, that's a heap of cash, man. You should put that money to better use. Maybe save up, get your driver's license, get a car. Then you can drive to job interviews. Cars keep costing money, but this one is a one-time payment. And it's the biggest Tyranid model, which isn't right, because if the Imperium can build Titans, then Tyranid should be able to grow things much bigger than that, he explained. But a car is something actually useful, and you could get you to a job to earn more cash, to get more models. Plus, when you're actually going to use a Bio-Titan. I want a 10,000 point Nid army, and that's my goal for now. Listen, I'm not his dad. Not even really a close friend, so I never pushed him or got into an argument with him. I offered help, and if he didn't want it, that's up to him. One day he said to me, I got the money to buy the Bio-Titan. You got a job, Liam? I asked, happy for him. No, my victim from Victim Services came through. Liam went on to explain that one day when he was walking from the bus stop to the hobby store, he got robbed by some junkies. One of them was high on something. They pushed him to the ground, stole his wallet, and the drugged up fiend bit a chunk out of his ear. This explains the missing piece I noticed before. Liam said police never found the suspect, but Victim Services gave him some money and he is using it to buy the Bio-Titan. You sure you don't want to put the money away into savings? I can help you set up a compound interest account. I can meet you at your bank branch. It'll be a great investment. As I'm sure you guessed, Liam was not interested. This story made me really sad for Liam though. As obtuse and self-defeating as he is an innocent soul who did not deserve some junkie scum to take advantage of him like that. One day he said it was his birthday, and I wished him a happy birthday. I remembered he barely had any dice, so I decided to get him some and told him I'd drop them off at his place. He asked if I could stay for a game too, and I said I'd stay for a small game. Dude, oh no. Oh no. Don't go to the belly of the beast, man. You're being a good guy, but... Whatever you get from here is on your head. I drove to the address. It was Housing Commission. What you might call public housing or project housing. It was a dirty complex of dark brown and red brick ugly apartments. I stood at the driveway and I saw Liam walking up to me waving. He looked really happy. I wondered how long it had been since anyone gave him a present or even visited him. I gave him his dice and he was stoked, smiling like a big kid. I brought my models and we went into his apartment. It was a single bedroom place. It was pretty putrid. Rubbish everywhere, a TV on a small desk, a tiny table with some unassembled models on it and some assembled ones too, and in the corner of the kitchen, 2 very small and foggy terrariums. I think I felt bad for the spiders there, to be honest with you. Liam closed his bedroom door and said, "Sorry, it's a bit of a mess in here." I thought, how bad must it be if it's worse in the living room? If it's worse than the living room. Liam, what? Sorry, you've not really written that properly. I'm gonna negotiate my way around that. Liam, there's nowhere to play in here, man. We can play in the garage. I was relieved. His place reeked, as you can imagine. The garage wasn't too bad. We played 500 points on a small square table, and then I went home. I think he had a good day. At least I hope he did. After that day, Liam started messaging me a lot. Always about 40k. Always about how Tyranids are the best. At first, I didn't mind. But if I disagreed with him on something, he couldn't let it go. And he would send these long replies about how he is right and I am wrong. Mate, do you know why he's doing that? Do you know why he's doing that? You're his only friend. And what's more, you're a friend of higher social standing. And so if you don't agree with him on something, in his eyes, that means he's completely wrong. Do you know what I'm saying? Because he values your opinion that much. He values you as a friend and your opinion that much that he has to convince you that he's right. Because if he can't, then that means he's completely wrong. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't just have differing opinions with a person like this because they think that much of you that they just can't, that their brains can't compute not being aligned with you in every single way. That's why he's doing it. I'm telling you now, that's why he's doing it. For instance, he would say something like, Tyranids have endless resources so they can never be beaten. I'd reply, well, they have bulk resources, sure, but they aren't endless. And they have been beaten heaps in the lore. No, they are endless and they are never really beaten, he would insist. Well, if they are endless, they just make whole armies out of the bigger and elite bugs and not worry about the cannon fodder. If they had endless resources, they just make 1 billion Carnifexes instead of 1 billion Tormagants. And yeah, some fleets have been completely beaten before. I think in Liam's mind, 40k, in particular the Tyranids, were his whole world. When I disagreed with the superiority of the Tyranids in the lore, it ticked over something in his mind, and he couldn't get past it. That too, yeah, that too. He's very invested in it, yeah. I would wake up to huge replies and links to YouTube videos and Warhammerpedia articles because I disagreed with him on something or had a different viewpoint. Another example is during an afternoon, Liam would say something like, the Tyranids will also win against Chaos since they don't travel through the warp. I messaged back, oh yeah, the Tyranids are the biggest danger to the galaxy, but the Chaos Gods wouldn't just let them win without a fight. And they are super powerful right now, since the fall of Cadia and the huge warp rift. Then I'd go to night shift, check my phone at 1 AM, and half a dozen lengthy messages from Liam about how I'm wrong, and the Nids are the best and everybody else is weak, etc, etc. Sometimes, when he was droning on and on about how great the Tyranids were, I'd be cheeky and say something like, well, Hive fleets can't be that strong. They couldn't even beat the Ultramarines, who were only like 1,000 warriors strong after all at the time. Man, did that set him off. I was trying to interject some humour into what seemed like a very serious conversation. Liam reacted like I was speaking treason. Like I said, it seemed Liam's whole personality were the Tyranids and the 40k universe, and every opposing viewpoint was tantamount to me insulting his family's honour. I really didn't want to upset him, and it was tedious to have these one-sided discussions, so I stopped replying or would mark the message with a non-committal emoji like a thumbs up. Dude, the thumbs up is like the biggest put down you can give. You know what I mean? Like, I've done it before. I've had it done to me as well. Like when some idiots have really annoyed me and I've had to say something like saying, look, that was out of order. Do you know what I mean? And they give you like the thumbs up or whatever, and you go, okay, fuck you then, and you're out. As soon as somebody does that to me, it's very rare when I have to send a message like that or get involved with somebody on that level. Very rare. But when it has happened, like somebody's like hit one of my friends or, you know, cheated on them or something, do you know what I mean? And they respond with that. That's normally I'd say that's a trash human being thing to do if it's a serious thing. But if it's something like this, then yeah. But when you get that thumbs up, I've done this to other people when I give this, and it is normally when they're ranting about something that I just don't care about. I'll just be like, yeah, alright, okay. You know, and you're just done, you know. I love talking lore as much as the next fan, but this was like getting talked at and not talked with. I wanted to say, put this much energy into getting a job, my friend, and you'll be doing just fine. But how a man conducts himself in life is his own prerogative. Soon after Liam stopped messaging me so much about 40k, and he only ever messaged me about 40k really, so I let the communication die off. I was willing to help Liam get his life together, but there is no helping someone who does not want to be helped, or is not ready to be helped. Change is hard. Sometimes it is the hardest thing at all. I made it clear that if he ever wanted advice or assistance, he could reach out, and he never has. And that's okay. It's his life. Every now and then, I'll reach out and see how he's doing, but unless we are talking about Tyranids, he isn't interested. If one day he messages me asking for advice, I would be truly stoked, and I hope that he does. As I'm sure you've observed, Northern Exile, there's a lot of guys like this in gaming, from 40k to Magic the Gathering to video games. Guys whose life is just comfortable enough where they can put all of their time and resources into a game and never improve their reality or the realities of the people around them, and the majority of their identity and existence becomes that fictional universe. I think they are escaping the difficulty and hardships of reality. It's sad to see young men waste their lives this way. Thank you for reading if you do. Regards, Dante. Mate, that was one of the best... I shit you not. That was one of the best hobby nightmares that I've ever read. And people are going to like scoff at that. I know they will. But it's true. This is literally one of the best. One of the best that I've read. Simply because we've all been here. All normies have been here, right? You've all got friends like this. At least one. In the 40k hobby. And I think you're right, Dante. I think you're right. I think people like Liam, or blokes like Liam, can you put it this way? If you're sitting there thinking this guy's disgusting, you know, this Liam guy's disgusting, you should just get a life. Imagine being Liam. Right? Imagine being a guy who's been put down by life and told you're never going to be anything ever. You were always the nerd in school, you were always picked on, you never had much friends, and even the friends that you did have went away and left you eventually because you've got some sort of a mental issue that you need help with, you need therapy with, right? Right, now imagine all that has happened to you, and the government gives you the means to live. Not do anything else, but to live. Okay? And you get comfort in something like Warhammer. You're going to adjudicate all of your time to Warhammer. You're going to adjudicate all of your time to the thing that's making you feel better. At least a little bit better. That distracts you from your idleness and your lack of discipline and your life, which is hard and lonely and distraught, right? So you throw all of your energy into that thing. You throw all of it in there. And you say, this is what I'm going to do. You know, this is what I do. You're always circling the drain, but you're never in the drain. I think certain people need the drain. I wrote a memoir called Bloke a while ago. It's on the Patreon, if anyone wants to download it. And in that, I talk about, as a bloke, as a guy, you need rock bottom. You need rock bottom. You should look forward to hitting rock bottom. Right? Because once you're there, once you're in the pits of despair and everything has fallen apart, that's when you're forced to start making changes that will long-term positively affect your life and put you on a better even keel. And you may get to a point in life where you're still... Dude, this is what I did. right? I was at rock bottom. Rock bottom. And I started to rebuild my life. And I'm still, listen, I'm still 1 or 2 bad months away from financial ruin, you know? I'm 1 or 2, you know, really bad weeks away from a mental breakdown. I know that, right? But I'm earning enough, I'm doing enough, I'm productive enough that I'm living a life that I'm happy with. And I can put money away for the future. I can take care of the people around me, you know, and do things like that. And I'm happy with that. That's where I am. I'm very, very, very happy to be where I am. But I was at rock bottom, dude. And I was always a person just like this. I was averse to hard work. I didn't see, you know, how I was going to get ahead in life. You know, even as a teacher, you were underpaid and undervalued, and I hated it. And when I came back to the UK teaching, I hated it. Absolutely couldn't stand it as a job. You know, and I thought, well, I've dedicated my entire time to do this. This is what I worked so hard to do. To get shouted at by preteens and their parents when they're the issue. No, fuck this, right? And eventually, I went into business for myself, became a private education mercenary, built up my client list, and here I am, right? I started YouTube, that started doing okay, and I'm doing okay, you know? But that, for me, is an achievement. And this is what I'm saying. If you're one of these Liam people, imagine what an achievement it would be for you, because I was a Liam. I was never smelly, I was never like one of these guys, but I was a guy who was circling the drain, or even in the drain, right? Just imagine how good it'll feel to be normal. Do you know what I mean? Imagine how good it'll feel to, instead of being, say like -10 is, you know, crisis point, where, you know, you are now a danger to society. You're always at -8, -7, do you know what I mean? Imagine how good it'll feel to be a 0. A net 0. Right? Imagine how good it'll feel to be normal. And to still have your Warhammer. To still have your time. To still have all of these things, right? To start being productive. One thing that guys like Liam don't have is that they've been battered by the world. The world has battered them into submission to the point where guys like Liam, if they don't have some sort of mental issue, which I'm still convinced Liam probably does, but even if they don't have some sort of mental issue, they are basically men who mentally are in the fetal position on the floor being kicked. They're sick of being kicked. They don't want to be kicked anymore, right? And so they find solace and refuge in fictional worlds, in fictional things. So that is where I am with that. That is what a Liam is. And if you are a Liam, look to the people around you, look at your friends, look at your acquaintances, look at other people in the hobby that you would like to be like. Because I know that's how you think. Don't think I don't. I know that's how you think. And then ask them how they got to where they are. Figure out what you want to do with life. Okay? Do something productive. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be going for a walk. You could literally drink more water today and drink less, you know, full sugar Coke. That's something productive. Do you know what I mean? Start building wins. Start putting W's in the W column. Stop taking L's every day. Stop taking 20 L's a day. Start taking 15 L's and 5 wins. Do you know what I'm saying? Drink more water with your day. Go for a walk. Sit in the sun for a bit with a good book, even if it's a codex or something else that you want to read. Get out there. Have a look online for certain clothes that you might want to buy. What kind of size do you want to be? Maybe speak to a nutritionist. They're out there, dude. A lot of them will give you a consultation for free. They'll talk to you and tell you what you need for free. They won't take you through the process for free, but they'll tell you what you need for free. Right? I'm telling you now, there are ways and means out there. Make use of this channel. This channel is something to make use of. Definitely. Right? There are hundreds of people on the Discord who are there to help you out with gym memberships, with finding games in your local area. You know, we were setting up a fun run together There have been multiple times where people have gotten together in big groups through the channel. Where they all meet up and they all have fun, right? So that's where we are. There are tools out there that you can use. You don't have to be a Liam. You don't have to sit alone in your apartment, because when a guy like Dante comes along, right, that is a bus, my friend, that you don't want to miss. I'm telling you now. Do not miss that bus. Because there are people in the hobby, especially in my community, who will come back for you, like Dante did here, who will try and help you. Try and build you up. Do not miss that bus. Liam missed the bus here. And he's lucky that Dante's still happy to work with him and be around him, right? Anyway, moving on. Bloke says, "Hi North, you can call me Bloke. I occasionally listen to your videos whilst on the bus and at work." Occasionally? Cheeky bastard. Get the things in your ears. Listen to the sultry tones of Northern Exile. I just wanted to take this time to say that sometimes when you record on your work computer, it's a lot quieter, but over the year or so, your quality has picked up. Well, thank you very much. There was a time, a few weeks ago, where I had to, because my grandpa went into hospital, so I had really no choice but to use my laptop, and that's when the sound was ass. Really ass. But it's better now. I'm in my office now. Anyway, take a sip of tea and go Queensland. One of your latest videos had somebody chanting, so I now have to. Dude, Australians are mental. I don't even know why they put a goal line out for New South Wales when they can't even get close to it. Alrighty. Has he just put that in there so I have to say it? Sorry, New South Wales people. So this nightmare has nothing to do with the hobby, but it was during it. Edit. I went on a little rant at the end that has to deal with Australian taxes and stuff. I have heard you rant about this in the past, but it's down there if you want to read it. Okay, here we go. A guy called Pete would always host D&D at his place. One night, he got us all frozen pizzas, which was all fine. He is not the wealthiest of gamers, and I always took free food when I could at that point. Anyways, as he was unboxing the pizzas, he accidentally unboxed one upside down. You know, normally that would be fine, but however, take a sip of tea. Okay? Oh. Oh. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna have to hyperventilate there. I read that the next sentence. Oh no. Oh no. Normally that would be fine. However, take a sip of tea. There was a massive, rolled out, flat rat on the bottom of the pizza. Let's just say that ever since that day, we have never trusted that brand of pizza. And I'm not sure if I can say what brand it is because of what happened afterwards, okay? Oh, no. At this time in my life, I was working at a local gaming store. Sometime in that following week, I walked in and saw Pete talking to someone who was a lawyer. Yeah, we had all sorts of people come in and play games. All 12 Domino's managers in the area, about 3 police officers, tradies, etc. Anyway, mind my tangents. But then again, you don't have the right to complain about it. You do it all the time, lol. Yeah, I do. Anyway, Pete went missing for a year or two. I didn't take much notice of it, but he came back and somehow had this whole 40k army already set up. He went to Disneyland in North America and was planning to move to Melbourne with his so-called girlfriend. I would like to believe that he somehow got some sort of payment for this from the situation that had happened, but he never talked about it, which makes me want to believe that. Anyway, let's just say that whenever I see a frozen pizza, I think of the following phrase. Ah, Pete, you did it again. And one last thing I wanted to say, I want to make a little rant here. It was odd to me, but I do understand what's going on. About 10 to 20 years ago, a few guys would go on big holidays overseas, buy a fuck ton of 40k, and send it back over in an extra luggage bag on the plane with them. The amount of stuff they would buy would cost them about 2,000 Australian dollars, but the actual cost, the cost after the Australian tax, would have been about 5,000 Australian US dollars. It still kind of shocks me that everything electronic and video games etc. has this extra cost to it. I once bought a video game on Steam for half the price because they forgot to add the extra tax to it, but they fixed it the day after. But if it is a plastic model, you could just stuff it in your bag and take it back over here without any questions being asked. I had a DJ mate pull up with his laptop and gear in customs. They thought he was bringing it over to sell. If he couldn't prove he bought it in Australia, they would have slapped a $500 customs fee on it, or a tax fee on it all. Anyways, that's the story. I hope you have fun, Dad. Kind regards, Scally Boy. Okay, yeah, I'm not your dad. I'm not your dad. Alright, I'm not your daddy. You know, I'm my daughter's daddy. I'm not your daddy. If you ever get confused, bloke, go to your nearest mirror, right? Look at your jawline. Cool. Go on the Discord, look at my jawline, and then realise we're not related. Sorry, it's a Dr. Disrespect line, and I've always wanted to use it. So I'm taking my chance now. Fuck it. So, I think that, yeah, Australians are reamed in the ass. Like, I don't think that's a controversial thing to say. Australians are absolutely battered at all points, in all times, by taxes, by prices, everything fun is more expensive in Australia. Twice the cost. Everything fun is twice the cost. But one thing I have noticed, it has led to Australia kind of being the 3D printing capital of the world. You know, the amount of good 3D prints you find on Etsy and on other sites, right? And they're all Australian businesses. Like, the vast majority of the really good ones are in Australia. Because they've had to develop these skills to get around Games Workshop being pricks. And their own government being pricks. You know? And that's before we even get into the weird Australian censorship laws. Where you couldn't fucking buy Mortal Kombat there for the longest time. I mean, come on, dude. Come on. So yes, I am with you, Australian brothers. I am with you. I'm there with you. And I'm happy to be somebody, even a small person on YouTube, shouting into the void as an advocate for you. More than happy to do that. Because you guys get it in the ass on a regular basis. Not like that. I know how Australians feel about that kind of thing. Not like that. It's a figure of speech. Alright? Okay. Cool. Love you all a long time. I will speak to you over the weekend for our normal streams. I may be on Saturday night unless the missus has something planned, but I will definitely be on Sunday for our prize draw, and we can hang out, play some more Grey Knight Demon Hunters. And I'll see you then, alright? Love you all. See you later. Have a good one. Bye now.